I don't necessarily know, Steve, if this question matters. I've lost track of it here, but I'll find it. From David Greenshield concerning the defensive end starting rotation. Because of the rotation, I don't know that it necessarily matters who starts between Zack Harrison, Jack Sawyer, and JT Tuimoloau. Your thoughts about D end?
Well, I think it'll be a case where maybe they rotate the starters all season long, and whoever performs the best in practice in a given week will get to start the game. And I think that's the way Larry Johnson has consistently conducted his business in his time at Ohio State. If you don't have a good week of practice, or if you've been held back because of an injury or something, somebody else is going to start. And he hasn't hesitated to start people ahead of Haskell Garrett or anybody else on that defensive line when it was necessary. So I look at it. I don't worry about it when Larry Johnson's in charge of it, other than they do need to get more production out of the defensive line than they had last year. They need to impact the quarterback and come up with ways, obviously, just to stop the opposing team when they want to run the football. I think that was a major issue against Oregon, against Michigan. Those two games in particular, they just struggled when it was time to get those teams stopped. So, to my way of thinking, they're going to be fine. I don't worry about who starts in the game. It's who makes the game-changing plays that are really the more important question. And unfortunately, last year there just weren't very many of them by that defensive line, to where you'd say Ohio State had a true front, a great defensive line. It really wasn't. So they need to get back to dictating things to the opposing offense with the play of the Ohio State defensive line. And if they do that, then that's going to be a huge thing, I think, for Ohio State.
Good to see you, Sue. Sue was asking about Tyleik Williams, who played in 9 games. He totaled 16 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks, and about his development and readiness to start possibly this fall. Anything on Tyleik Williams, Steve?
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Something popped up on my screen and took my eyes away for a second.
Oh, that's okay. Tyleik, I was just running down his numbers.
Tyleik,
9 games.
Yeah, Tyleik, the again, one of the 100 questions from 2021 that will never go answered is what happened to him. He got into a couple games at midseason, had a couple sacks, and then went in the witness protection program for 3 weeks and was never seen from. And again, Larry Johnson has his methods, has his reasons, and it could be an off the field issue, could be a practice issue that Tyleik wasn't working hard in practice. I don't know. Maybe he was banged up. We don't know. No one would tell us. We asked it any number of different ways. What happened to Tyleik Williams after he, made those great plays in those 2 midseason games? And he just wasn't available, didn't play, had his reps didn't increase to what you would think they would after playing the way that he did. So, having said that, I think now coming back in his second year, he has to be looked at as a leader on the defensive line. I think it's time for him to be moved up into the production line, certainly, and be considered one of the top 2 or 3 defensive tackles on this team. Haskell Garrett's not there anymore. Antoine Jackson is not there anymore. Teron Vincent is still there, and I think he'll play, obviously. But, I think Tyleik Williams, his time has come. Michael Hall, his time has come as well. So there's a lot of guys there who are in position and need to take advantage of the opportunity that they're going to have in 2022 to be frontline contributors on this defense, because there are a lot of jobs open, and I think that Tyleik Williams is a guy that can be an impact player on this defensive line. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he can make plays, he can get off blocks, He can gum up the gaps. He can stop the run. He can collapse a pocket. He can do everything you want a defensive tackle to do. It's just he's got to do it on a consistent basis, game in and game out, series after series, and play at that level that Larry Johnson is expecting his frontline guys to play at all times. And perhaps that was his issue, that he would flash a play here or there, but just was not the kind of consistent force that Larry Johnson was looking for. So, again, I don't have the answer for it. I expect his role to increase, and I think he's ready for it. And again, with a great offseason of development, there's no reason why that guy can't be in the running for an all Big Ten position, going into a sophomore year. I mean, there's no reason. The few games that we saw him play, the few plays that we saw him play, he appeared to be a difference maker to me. And maybe the only thing holding him back is himself, is the only thing I can surmise.
I was just pulling up his game log, if my laptop will cooperate, because, yeah, my goodness, he picked on some lesser defenses or offenses here a bit, with a sack against Tulsa and 2 against Akron, but he did pick up 1 against Rutgers as well, and Michigan State, to total 5 sacks and some very limited playing time. So he was certainly effective, as Steve is pointing out.